Hey guys, Whispering Tactician here, and today we're gonna go over the weekend's results in the Premier League. This weekend was absolutely insane, so stay tuned and we're gonna go through some of the results. So the first result of the weekend came in. Chelsea were beaten convincingly by West Bromwich Albion. And wow, this game was absolutely crazy. Before the game, I think a lot of people predicted Chelsea were going to absolutely put in a dominant performance and sweep West Brom aside, which you would expect. But West Brom, wow, I've never seen West Brom play with this type of intensity for the whole season. And I know Chelsea got a man sent off, but West Brom fully deserved to win this game. Now, Thomas Tuchel, obviously, one of the managers that, he's been rated very highly, was absolutely done by Allardyce. He was done. I have to admit, I do like Tuchel, but I think tactically, after they got the man sent off, he got it absolutely wrong, and he just paid the price for it. But I do also think, in the same vein, West Brom are absolutely brilliant. You have to give credit to West Brom because they played out of their skin. I don't think I've seen them perform as well as they have, really, and it's an absolutely brilliant win for them. 5-2, 5-2, and again, Callum Robinson. He loves scoring against Chelsea. It's one of those results that, it only happens after an international break. I can't imagine Chelsea losing like this so badly if there's not an international break, but absolute credit to West Bromwich Albion. Okay, so let's move on to the next game the same day, and that was Leeds versus Sheffield United. Now, Leeds again, a side that is absolutely exciting, is ingrained in the Bielsa way. Everyone in Leeds almost loves Bielsa, and they play such exciting football, and they beat Sheffield United again. Sheffield are languishing right at the bottom of the league. They're probably going to get relegated, and Leeds did what they had to against them, and to be fair, Sheffield United did try and put up a fight. When you do look at the stats as well, they do confirm kind of what I was seeing during the game. But Leeds were dominant, and they pretty much absolutely deserved their victory. Now Leeds again, I think, are they above Arsenal? Oh, they're on the same points as Arsenal. So I think maybe one thing for this season for Leeds would be to finish above the likes of Arsenal. I think that would be an absolutely successful season, first season in the Prem. Solidify, your top half finish. And again, they've got Aston Villa below them as well. I know Aston Villa, we're going to get onto them. They won as well. But yeah, Aston Villa are right around them as well. So good win for Leicester, and I think Sheffield United, their relegation will be confirmed. In the next coming games, because they don't look like they're about to pull any results out. Anyway, let's move on to the next game of the weekend, and that was Leicester versus Manchester City. Now, this was a top of the table clash, not in terms of Leicester have a chance of winning the league, because I think the league is done. I think Manchester City look absolutely frightening. And I watched the game. Leicester were absolutely dominated by City. City very well deserved their win. Do you know what I mean? And Mendy scored a very unlikely scorer for them. have a game in hand on Manchester United right now, but they look like they could win multiple trophies, and I wouldn't even bat an eyelid because they absolutely deserve their credit this season. They deserve it. They deserve their success this season. They've been absolutely brilliant, and Pep Guardiola has a array of talent to choose from. It's a very well run club, and results like this do not surprise me. Anyway, Leicester beaten by Manchester City 2-0. The next game of the weekend. Again, I'd say this is probably the second. I don't know if it's a shock, but I didn't expect it to be this score. But Liverpool absolutely brilliant in the second half. Their second half performance was amazing. Trent Alexander-Arnold getting back to his usual antics. And wow, Shaw is one hell of a player. He's added an extra dimension to their attacking lineup, which they've been missing throughout the season. And again, I know I haven't done this for some of the other games, but it's interesting when you look at the lineups, right? Because if you just go down to Liverpool's, you got the likes of Fabinho playing in midfield rather than in defence. I know that's been a bit of a problem for Liverpool since they've got a lot of people out, but now they've kind of solidified their backline a bit more, and they've got Fabinho protecting them in as a DM in midfield. They've got Thiago who can play further up, who can, he doesn't have to play in a 6 now. They're playing a lot better. They are playing a lot better, and let me tell you something as well. Arsenal were absolutely horrendous in the second half. I'm not surprised they got beat with that second half performance that they put in. And Arsenal do need to do better. They're pinning all of their hopes on Europa League. I do not think it's sustainable, especially seeing as Arsenal haven't won a European trophy for a long time. They've been to a final. I hear that they went to a final in 2019. But they were absolutely humiliated, and Arsenal do need to. Their hopes rely on Europa League. I do not think they have anything to shout for in the league. They could potentially try and push for Europa League places, but they're not going to get Champions League places. That is absolutely done through the league now. And Liverpool absolutely dominated Arsenal in this game. It was absolutely convincing from Liverpool. And let's move on now to the next games, which were on Sunday. Now, on Sunday, Southampton beat Burnley 3-2. I think Burnley were very good in the first half. I watched the game, and the way they kind of hit Southampton early on was very. I was actually surprised. Like, wow, Burnley have this in them. I know they're a very astute side, but Southampton kind of was shocked at how quickly Burnley were coming at them. And Southampton came from behind to win 3-2. A very good win in the end. But if you actually look at the table as well between these two sides, Southampton and Burnley before this game were on the level points. So it was it was a 6-pointer almost. You know what I mean? 6-pointer down at the bottom of the table, and Southampton were up in, in the top 4 earlier in the season. They've dropped down now, but they were up there, and I think to rescue their season, they're gonna have to push for a top 10. But I think they'll be happy with with their position this season, because they did start really well. They absolutely did fade. They got beat 9-0 by United. I don't think it was a performance that covered themselves in glory. However, their main objective now is just to push for maybe potentially top 10 place if they can, but that'd be very difficult as well with the form that Southampton were showing earlier in the season, in midway through the season, Anyway, 3-2 win for Southampton coming from behind against Burnley. Now, let's go on to this next game. It was Newcastle versus Tottenham. A game which you would have expected Spurs to absolutely assert their dominance with the likes of Kane and Son. However, Newcastle, in my opinion, they should have got something from the game. However, Spurs hit them very well, and it was one man that did that, and that was Harry Kane. Harry Kane was clinical. He was very, very clinical. The way he was taking his chances, everything was crazy, and he's been doing this the whole season, right? And if you look at the lineups as well, Newcastle went for a back five, and Spurs went for two up top. I think that was maybe to try and counteract the five at the back that they have, try and split their centre backs as well. It looked like some of the tactics that I could see, but wow, there was no Son, there was no Son, no Bale. All these people were dropped to the bench, and they came on later on. I think Son, he was okay. He didn't really do much, and Bale had a free kick, but again, when they came on, I don't think they did that much really. They had a counter-attacking opportunity at one point, and they kind of fluffed their lines, whatever. But Newcastle were resolute. They came back, they scored, they took the lead, and then they equalised again towards the end of the game to rescue themselves a point. And right now, when you're looking at the table, when they played, Spurs were up there. They're only 2 points behind Chelsea. They're on the same points as Liverpool. If Liverpool can get in mathematically, then Tottenham have the same chance. But I just don't know about the consistency of Tottenham and their manager and the happiness of the players under their manager, Jose Mourinho. That's the one thing that I am slightly skeptical about. I think there's some murmurings of discontent within the side, which I'm not surprised about. I'm not surprised that Jose Mourinho has managed to split the dressing room in some way. However, they mathematically still have a chance at top four. They can still catch Chelsea. I think the top three are cemented. I just don't know about the fourth spot. I think Chelsea will get it, but you never know with any of these guys down there, even including Everton, if they can mount a challenge, if they can put a consistent run together. Anyway, Spurs draw away to Newcastle, and again, Jose Mourinho has not beaten Newcastle at St James Park, or Sport Direct, I think it's called now. He's not done it. Very interesting. Anyway, next game is Aston Villa versus Fulham. Fulham did take the lead, and I don't know if it was. I don't feel like it was against the run of play, but Aston Villa, to me, they always felt like they were going to win the game. And to be fair, when you look at when they scored their goals in the 78th minute and the 81st. The way Trezeguet scored those goals, Aston Villa opened Fulham up. They opened them up, and they've been doing this without Jack Grealish. When you add Jack Grealish on top of that, last game of the weekend after this was Manchester United versus Brighton and Hove Albion, and Brighton took the lead Brighton took the lead early on, and it was Brighton who looked like they were controlling the game without having the ball. They looked like they were nullifying spaces for the likes of Bruno Fernandes and Rashford to get into. I think Man United did press well in the first half. However, when Brighton scored the goal, Brighton kind of dominated. You know what I mean? They nullified the spaces. They just did not allow Man United to get chances. And I don't know what Ollie said at second half, but second half Man United came up with a bit more something. I don't think Man United are the most but most exciting team to watch. However, they get their job done, and you would have thought that Brighton would have come to play good football, and they just didn't. I don't think it's wise to against Manchester United as much as they don't have the best attacking pattern to play. I do think that if you give them space and you try and attack them, they will eventually score. It's just the trademark of this Manchester United team. And as you can see here, if you go onto the Brighton formation, they kind of played a five at the back with Lallana and Basuma in the middle, and they just tried to nullify the wide areas where Rashford and Greenwood can do their work really. But United always line up in a 4-2-3-1. From watching them, it's the same. And again, a very big talking point: Henderson was not De Gea was not in goal. He was dropped to the bench. Is that the end of De Gea? I do not know. And again, a routine win really in the end for Manchester United. And that is it. There you have it. Those are the weekend results. I know there are two games coming up: Everton versus Crystal Palace and Wolves versus West Ham. I would expect Everton to win. They're at home and they have a better squad, better manager. You would expect. And Wolves versus West Ham is a very tight game. It depends. It really does depend on what Wolves turn up. Because if the Wolves of last season turn up and nullify their opponents, but can also nick a goal, we could be seeing, you know what I mean, a dent in West Ham's hopes for top four or even Europe. And if you look at the two teams as well, you've got Wolves, who I think they're safe. They're not gonna go down. They're in that kind of limbo place, the same as Southampton. They're not going to go down, in my opinion, but are they going to really finish in the top 10? No, they're going to be around that 11th to 15th place side. And again, the same with Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are up there on 37 points. However, are they going to really finish above the likes of Leeds and Leicester? I don't know. If they can beat Everton, then they definitely do have a chance. And if they can be a bit more consistent over the next few weeks, then absolutely they do have a chance. However, it's going to be difficult because you've got a lot of quality in the Premier League. It's you don't know what's going to happen week to week. A very difficult thing to predict really is where teams are going to finish. Anyway, that's my preview for those two games really quickly. And if we just have a look at the table overall and some of the form going into Leicester, who, just lost to City. How are they going to pick themselves up? Liverpool, Tottenham, all going for that top four place. Everton as well, West Ham up there. Let's see how Everton get on. Arsenal, what's going to happen with them? Are they going to completely bin off the league? Crystal Palace, Leeds, are they going to finish above Arsenal? Are they going to finish in the top 10? Wolves and Burnley, do you know what I mean? Where are they going to finish around there? Brighton and Newcastle and Fulham, who's going to get relegated out of those two? You can even include West Brom, really. West Brom absolutely look like they have a chance if they can put something together. It doesn't even have to be a bunch of wins. It can be 2 wins here and there. You know what I mean? They really just need to get points on the board in any capacity. Same with Fulham. It's just a points thing. Anyway, thank you guys very much for listening. I will be doing a Champions League preview and a Europa League preview as well after this, so stay tuned for that. Thank you guys very much, and I will catch you on the next video. Thank you for listening.